How's it going, everybody? It's your host Aku here, and welcome to a brand new update. This is going to be quite a big one. I think I've had announced it for some time, so I've been need the time to make this video, and hopefully, you guys get in on the hoop of what's going on with me, what's going on with this channel, and what are the future plans for it, and a little bit about my personal life. But that's besides the point. Anyways, 2022, a brand new year and brand new whatever things is going on. I know it's not a great start for several reasons, but I'm doing my best to be a little bit optimistic. I've been trying to recover from my previous semester in school, which I'm actually taking a semester off. There's a reason for that, which I'll get on that very later in the video. You'll know why. So, I have more so like a very list of things I want to talk about. So I added a list. I don't have exactly a script, so this is mostly unscripted. So I guess before I really talk about anything, I do want to start with some reflections on the past year in 2021 with the channel, because there was a significant big things that happened with the channel. So since the past year, not only did this channel surpass 300 subscribers, but also 400 subs in the same year. I did not expect for that to happen, and that is literally amazing. It also was the year where there were lots of engagement with some of my more recent videos, especially for several projects like Mad Rat Dead or Metopia, which the latter is still ongoing, by the way. I'll get onto that in a little bit. And some, with Kirby Squeeze Squad, and I think Part-Time UFO at the moment too. There might be a few other games I've done that year too, which sometimes I tend to forget, but that's besides the point. And it's also around the times where, with a lot of my videos get likes on the videos, which is really amazing. Usually it's an average around maybe 3 to 5 likes, but sometimes it's a lot more than that. And that seems to be the case for quite a few occasions of videos, which is amazing. And the view count has definitely increased in terms with, activities and whatnot, which is amazing. Also, my watch time has increased quite a lot. I think to the point where it surpassed, I believe, 500 watch hours, which is really insane. Last year, it was only around 150 watch hours, which is really insane. It's very insane. It's amazing. And I want to thank you guys. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am today, and thank you, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out my videos and checking out the channel and to see what this channel has to offer, what I have to offer. It's really incredible, and I am extremely grateful. You guys have my undying gratitude, my sincere thanks. I don't know how else to describe it. It's really, really, it's really amazing to me, and hopefully I can keep up with the momentum regardless of whatever is going on with my life. There's going to be quite a few changes as well, but I still hope to pretty much keep up, because this channel is kind of like it helps me. It mentally helps me in a way, to get through life. And that would be something I'll get even more into whenever I get to create my YouTube channel reflection video, which I think is a good segue to start talking about what videos I plan to make in the future. So yeah, first off, for those who don't know, my YouTube channel has surpassed 10 years. Since the past October, because I first started this channel back in October 2nd, 2011. So yeah, over 10 years ago. Now, technically speaking, yes, this is year 11, But despite that, I still want to make a video to celebrate, and really as a means to celebrate the 10 years, and to hopefully for it to keep going for as long as I can. You know, in a video like that, I would love to reflect and talk about the history, you know, with this channel, everything that transpires, the behind the scenes, and how this channel grew, how I grew as a person, you know, with doing all this, and the changes that it helped me for the better in my life. You know, it's something I would love to talk about. Maybe it's something that can inspire some people. And I know my channel is a pretty small channel, and I know I don't have a bunch of subscribers. It's not a big channel, despite how long I've been doing it. But regardless, hopefully whatever I may have to say may reach some people. It might reach somebody, and hopefully it benefits people in a way, in a very positive way, you know. Okay, so with that out of the way, because I'm hoping to get through the process of making that video, take the time to record myself, you know, talking about these things, and hopefully I can have that be released either around March or April, and that really depends on the time, like the time that I, you know, really need to do this kind of thing. So next up, while there's definitely gonna be some new stuff this year, there will also be some reoccurring ones. You're probably asking, what do I mean by reoccurring? So the quick backstory, on a few occasions I tend to go to the YouTube studios, and sometimes I take a look at the analytics. And I remember seeing like the view counts for every hour or so, but what I didn't realize was that a lot of people have been watching some of my older videos. If for those who don't know, prior to 2019, because this is when the jump happened, practically every single of my projects, my Let's Play projects, I would record everything onto a camcorder. Although technically in the beginning I was using an iPad, but I quickly made the switch to using a camcorder, which is pretty interesting. Let's just say that. But I think what happened to me was I found out that a lot of people were watching some of my older content, like significantly, which is really, really weird. But also I felt very bad because like these projects were not up to snuff. They were not up to the quality standards, the way obviously I record nowadays. And these were 3 projects in particular. Hamtaro Hamhams Unite, which was the one that people viewed the most during those times. So many of the episodes were viewed by so many of you guys. Wario Land Shake It, which I feel like I need to do something about it, because I feel like I didn't do this game justice when I did a Let's Play back in 2017, 2018. And Gianna Sisters DS. Now, basically that means one thing. I am planning to do a Redux playthrough. In case you don't know what a Redux playthrough is, it's essentially reviving an old project that you've done a long time ago, and basically doing a Let's Play again. So it's kind of like, let's just say you have an old drawing that you drew a very long time ago, and then you take a look at that old art of yours, and whatever improved art skills you've had made over the years, you decided you want to redraw that old art piece that you've done a long time ago to see how much you improve. That's technically the idea that I'm thinking here with these 3 projects. I feel like I didn't do them justice, and especially Wario Land Shake It, because that game in itself is fucking gorgeous. And I feel like because of that, I didn't do this game justice, because I wasn't able to record on a capture card. I didn't have a capture card at the time. I didn't have Elgato, and I didn't even know that screen recording existed at the time either. So with all that material, with all that tools that I have now at my disposal, it makes it all possible now. And I feel like I'm running out of excuses of not doing anything about it. So yeah, there's that. Also, on a side note, I hope you guys actually really like taking a look at the thumbnails that I've made for them, because that's going to be the current thumbnail standard, and this is most likely gonna be stayed hopefully for a very long time. I worked on these thumbnails. I've done a few renditions, and I felt like maybe this will do. And honestly, now that I look at them, I really like it a lot. And hopefully you guys do too. Don't they look cool? I really, of course, it doesn't have to be stripes. Maybe later on I can maybe add some maybe polka dots, stars, or whatever shapes that's necessary for any other projects at the moment. But I feel like the stripes are pretty good with these games, so I'm fine with whatever. So now that you guys know that I'm planning to do a Redux playthrough for a few of my old projects that I've done years ago, and don't worry, I'm not doing them all at once. It's such a fucking overkill. And alongside with some of my ongoing playthroughs as well that I'm doing on the channel, Metopia and Part-Time UFO, which the latter I did say that I was probably gonna do the hard stages, but I'm kind of going against it at the end of it. I feel like I want to just make a lot of progress with the normal stages, honestly. Not only that, I want to quickly be able to get into some of the newer content for it as well. Well, technically speaking, the harder version of the stages is technically new content for the Switch version, but that won't be a priority. I think as soon as I just finish the main story, I'm just gonna showcase the Infinity Tower, which is something I wanted to showcase for some time, and the treasure thing, which I don't remember what it's called. I'll probably write it on screen. Editor me reminding you to write that in. But anyways, yeah, don't worry, these ongoing projects are so ongoing. It's just that, you know, I'm trying to find ways to pretty much bring in the variety of content for the channel, so that, you know, it won't just be the two things all the time, or especially fucking Metopia. Holy shit, 46 so far. And I've done this project before years ago. It's not necessarily a Redux playthrough, though it technically, you could almost call it a Redux, but I'm doing the Switch version and not the 3DS again. And well, you obviously would know the differences so far if any of you have done any comparisons between these two. So there's that. Now, I think the next thing I also want to talk about here is I won't just be doing Nintendo projects anymore. I'm also gonna be playing some Sony games, actually. Finally, for once, right? Well, here's the thing. The only ones I'm most likely gonna focus on throughout my YouTube career, unless if there's some changes that gives me the opportunity to do so otherwise, my primary focus will only be PS1, PS2, and PSP. That's pretty much it. As far as I know, these are the games that are easier to play on the computer, assuming if you have a pretty powerful computer enough. And as far as from what I've checked from my computer, it's pretty decent enough as long as I can do some workarounds, which I have done in the past. Though the way I've done things in the past wasn't always perfect, but I've always been knowing when to do something just to make sure to keep up with the quality. But you know, so far the only PlayStation I've tested out so far is the PS1, and these games work perfectly. So stay tuned on that, because I'm starting to do some PlayStation Let's Plays, and even one of them is my childhood game that I used to play since I was a kid, for whatever the short time that we used to have a PlayStation, unfortunately. But now I was able to reunite again, and I've even tested it out, and it works like bread and butter. I've even made some thumbnails for them too, so stay tuned. Oh, and don't worry, I have other projects that I've had in mind as well. So, however, I'm going to keep these a complete surprise, and Feel free to take any guesses of what those projects are that I blurred on the screen. I would love to see you guys try. With all that discussion about what LP projects I plan to do in the future, and talking about memory lanes kind of shit. Now there's one thing I want to lastly talk about. So this pertains more with my personal life, but I'm going to explain it in short terms as possible. So I'll have you know, if I'm not doing YouTube, I mostly am into art as a hobby, but it also has become a really big passion, just like video games. Yeah, you thought that video games was my only passion, though that's my biggest passion, but my secondary passion is actually doing some art. Though I don't necessarily do it religiously, but I have done quite a lot of art over the years. Though I'm not exactly a professional level yet. A lot of times I draw for fun, or usually I draw because I have to. A lot of times I do art because I have to, but at least I do enjoy when I do so. With a small problem though. So, I'm going to talk about what I plan to do, because this is going to be an ongoing process, and you guys would not necessarily see it until I would plan to post this around maybe November or December. So somewhere near the end of 2022. This is technically going to be an ongoing process for me. It's something I will be documenting video-wise. I am planning to do a big project that is basically of my art journey. You see, I myself am a beginner artist, and honestly, because of the recent circumstances, I've decided to just really take my own education into my own hands. Since I feel like college has failed me in a lot of ways, I feel like I had to do things that finally just worked for me. Things that I've thought about for quite a bit of time. So I'm going to be documenting myself doing lots of art exercises, projects through online learning, and to be more specific, self-paced online learning. For a long time, I've always thought about doing self-paced learning. I've always felt like maybe this method of learning might actually help me much better than doing so in college, where there's a lot of strict deadlines, where I'm almost never able to put in my best work due to the time constraints. And not to mention, I don't just take one class. I have taken 3 classes. And where, unfortunately, I have to prioritize homework that has nothing to do with art at all, because those tend to need higher priority compared to my art, unfortunately. And after 2 rejections of a dream school I've once wanted to go, it led me to have this decision. I'm going to take back some of the control that I needed. And maybe just stop relying on the traditional education system to help me get better at art, to get better at doing game design, to get better at doing 3D animation and even 2D animation. For a long time, I wanted to start getting into working at the gaming industry. But the problem is, none of my artwork aren't even good enough. No matter how much I put the time I put into, or the short restricted time that I was given, I felt like it wasn't necessarily high quality work. And it certainly didn't help the fact that I was I felt like I was competing against other students. There's this whole competitive environment, and overall it just wasn't really working for me. So I had to take these things into my own hands, and hopefully doing these self-paced learning might actually help me. I've actually started since the past few weeks, but quite slowed down a little bit because sometimes the way I set up things, I have to make sure that my computer is plugged the whole time. And since I actually recently got a digital drawing monitor this past Christmas, which requires some power, which power can drain my battery on my computer. So sometimes I would need my charger for my computer to make sure that everything is charged as I'm doing my work. And due to family circumstances and whatnot, it's been kind of difficult at times. So I'm trying to do my best to work around these things. But I've told myself, even if it's not going to be an easy start, I know that as time goes on, this is going to help me. And with the small progress I've made thus far, and being really engaged with the lessons and being really engaged with what I'm learning, through video lectures. And one of the best things too is that if I'm not understanding something, I can always rewind. I can always rewind to a specific point for me to have a much better understanding. I've been researching a bit with whatever softwares I can get to use to do some of the things I've always wanted to do. And I wasn't really able to do so for the past year due to the timing with school and how really intensive the work was for me. I don't know, like the school that I'm in at the moment, or more so plan to stop going to altogether. It's not really for me. The major wasn't for me either. Which, by the way, if you're an artist and you want to do more art-related classes, don't major in communication, in media. Just don't. It focuses more on the brand aspects of it, or advertising, which in my case is kind of boring. If I wanted to advertise my shit, I would go to maybe a website where they would give independent artists or game developers the opportunity to advertise, and why not? I'm not into the business side of things, but I know that if I do so, I don't know. I know in terms of a business side, I know that's something I have to get into, but at least I wasn't supposed to really know about the branding aspect, though I don't know, and I could be wrong on that. There's definitely easier ways to advertise my work, and why not? But everything was way too focused on the advertising aspect, which really makes the classes so boring. Not only that, it didn't help that the fact that I was forced to learn about media history, which, oh god, it was so boring. And since it wasn't pertaining to my special interest, which is video games, by the way, that certainly didn't help either. Maybe except for 3D animation, maybe except for computer animation that they taught for 1 week, and and then it went back to the same old stuff. I don't know. I'd rather learn about gaming history. Oh god. Stretch. Wow, I've actually did this a lot shorter than expected, so yeah. So right now I'm in a process of documenting my art journey, and I'm hoping that around either November or December, I'm most likely gonna do December, I'll upload a video and I'll talk about the process, all the progress I would make. And I'm genuinely really excited. Now, for those who might probably asking, if I'm not in college, will I get a job? Yeah, don't worry. I'm most likely planning to get a job. I might probably start to plan out to send out my resume around, at the latest, at March. I feel like it would be wise to start doing it in March, because hopefully by then, I'm hoping maybe the cases for the coronavirus will start to drop. Hopefully, because we're in a very cold times, and when we're in the winter or fall time, there's always a rise of people getting sick and whatnot. And since we're still in this goddamn pandemic, you get the idea. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much of what my plans are for the future, for this channel and for real life. Thank you guys for watching. Damn, my throat is really like hurting me, so I'm probably gonna end this video now. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys watched to the very end, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.